In this video, we're going to show you everything you need to know about how to properly set up and connect the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone with your Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 audio interface. We're going to show you all the equipment that you need in order to make this work. We're going to show you how to properly set up and connect everything. And at the end, we're going to answer all the frequently asked questions that we get about this setup in terms of how to record and get the best sound possible. First of all, if you are wondering how everything's set up here, let's just quickly run through it. Right now, you're listening to the Universal Audio SC1 condenser microphone. You can see up in the top right corner here that there's a logo of this microphone. Once we set up and connect the Shure SM7B, that logo will change so you can tell exactly what you're listening to at what time throughout the whole process. If you are looking for pricing or specs for anything else that you see in this video, all the cables and adapters and stands and accessories that we recommend for this setup, we do have links down in the description below where you can find everything you see in this video from a variety of online retailers to make sure that you are getting the best price possible. Now let's quickly talk about what's included when you buy either one of these items. With the Shure SM7B, you get just the microphone, a backup or different windscreen, and you get a mic stand adapter. You don't get any stands or cables with this. Now with the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, same thing. You get the audio interface here, and you get a couple USB cables, but that's not enough in order to make the whole setup work. So in this video, we're going to make some recommendations on the other equipment that you're going to need. Now the first thing that you're going to need is some type of mic stand or boom arm for your Shure SM7B. For me personally, it really comes down to these two options. You can use a cheap, inexpensive table stand, which sits on the table in front of you. These are super rugged and they give you a lot of flexibility. There's two downsides to it. One, it can take up valuable table space. So if you have a keyboard or anything in front of you, this might not be the best solution for you. And two, they're not the best at removing bumps and taps on the table from the microphone. The Shure SM7B does have a lot of internal shock mounting, but the table stand still does let some of it through. If you want a better solution than that, you can use some type of microphone boom arm. In this video, I'm using the Rode PSA 1 Plus. I love this boom arm. The Elgato mic arm is also another good option. Again, we have pricing and links down in the description for either one of these. For this video today, I'm going to be using the microphone boom arm because it is a bit more flexible. So it's pretty straightforward. There's just a threaded screw at the end of the Shure SM7B. You can put that right onto your microphone boom arm. It's a pretty universal thing. With the Shure SM7B, you do get an adapter too. So whether or not it's the small or the big thread, you can make it work with your Shure SM7B. The next thing that we need to quickly talk about is mic placement and how the microphone works. The microphone here, the Shure SM7B, is an end address microphone. You don't speak into the side of this microphone, you speak right into the end of it. For best results, you want it just slightly off to the side of your mouth, and you want it within about a fist of your mouth. That will give you that nice warm broadcast tone that you want with the Shure SM7B. If it's too far away, it's going to sound really roomy. You're going to hear all the reflections in the room. And if it's too close to your mouth, it's going to sound really boomy and poppy. So for best results, just have it right here to the side of your mouth like that. Next, you're going to need some type of XLR cable to connect your Shure SM7B to your Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. For years and years, I was using Canary Star Quad cables. I believe that they offer the best value for a Star Quad cable. They're super hard to find. They're out of stock a lot of the time. But just in the last year or so, Rode has white labeled the Canary XLR cables. It's not a Star Quad cable. There's only 2 conductors and the ground instead of the 4. But for me, it's way better value, and this is what I've been using in the studio a lot more. Makes it a lot easier to recommend an XLR cable that's half the price of what I used to use. And for most people, this is the best cable that they should be buying. So I'm going to connect this to the top of the XLR microphone, to the Shure SM7B. Then I'm going to neatly run my cable. Try not to have a mess with all your cables. You really, especially if you're on camera, you want to make a nice job out of it. Then we're going to take the other end of this cable. We're going to connect it to the XLR input of the first channel on the back of this Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. Okay, next let's take a look at the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 to make sure that all of our settings are set up before we start turning things up. First of all, we want to make sure that we have the right channel selected. You can see in here that there's a select button and there's a green indicator above the channel that's selected. If I hit select, you can see that that green indicator moved to channel 2. If I hit select again, you can see that that green indicator moved back to channel 1. This is perfect. We're plugged into the first channel, so now we're set to make adjustments. Now we don't need 48 volts of phantom power at all. This is used to activate condenser microphones. If you do have it turned on, it probably won't hurt your Shure SM7B at all, but there's no reason to have it on because the Shure SM7B is a passive dynamic microphone. It doesn't benefit from 48 volts of phantom power in any way. It's largely ignored, but there is just a 1 in a million chance that you can damage a dynamic microphone, so it's best practice to leave it turned off if you don't need it for any specific reason. Next, we want to make sure that instrument mode is turned off. We don't need that at all. We're going to talk about auto, safe, and air as we work through our setup with the Shure SM7B. Next, let's turn up the preamp on the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. The job of the preamp is to take this tiny microphone level signal from the Shure SM7B, bring it up to line level so we can actually record and work with it. So let's start turning it up now. For me, when I use the Shure SM7B, I find that I need to turn up to about 75% in order to get a good level out of it. Now with the latest firmware update on the Focusrite Scarlett, you don't get the white halo, so I find it easier just to look over at the computer. Here you can see around the gain knob that we have our level set to about 75%. You can see here, if I reset the peak meter, that we're peaking at about -18. That's still a bit conservative for me. I like to peak somewhere between -18 and -12. It does get a little bit sensitive here, so you want to be very careful. I'm going to reset the peak meter here, and you can see that we're now peaking at -13. For me and my recording, this is exactly where I want to be. The reason I don't like peaking at 0, the loudest that you can get, is because you do risk clipping and distorting the input of your microphone. If you plan to peak at -12, now when you laugh or you tell a joke or you're animated in your recording, or if you're singing or doing a performance and you're really giving it just a little bit more than you planned on doing, now you have that headroom so you don't peak, clip, or distort. I'm going to show you what happens if you do turn it up too much. If you turn it up too much, you can see here that it's peaking. You can see that the meter on the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 is going haywire. And on the computer, you can see that we're peaking here. When we do that, we are completely losing all the data. You can't recover that data. It sounds horrible. It sounds gross. It sounds distorted. It will ruin your recording. That's what you don't want. That's why you want to peak at -12. Somewhere between -18 and -12 is absolutely perfect. Now, if you're uncomfortable doing this, you can also have the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 automatically set the gain for you. So there is this auto button on the front of the Focusrite Scarlett. Again, make sure that you are selected on the right channel and you can hit that auto button. What that will do is it will mute the microphone for 10 seconds. It'll show you a blue halo. You speak into the microphone or sing or perform into the microphone like you plan on doing, and it will set the gain for you. Let's go ahead and do this now. So what I was saying there, obviously you couldn't hear me because it was setting up, is the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 auto gain mode aims for the same -18 to -12 target that we set earlier. If you see here, you can see right now I'm peaking at -15. So it's actually really close to where we were when we set the target manually the first time. So everybody's kind of in agreement here. For the best result, you want to peak between -18 and -12. And it doesn't matter if you do that with the auto button or set it manually yourself. Now there is this safe mode. What safe mode does is it analyzes your recording, your input onto this Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, and it will automatically adjust the gain. It doesn't add a compressor or a limiter, but it will adjust your gain down if you're starting to peak, clip, or distort. But you don't want to lean into safe mode. Some people are tempted to put safe mode on and crank up the gain. I don't recommend this because your audio will sound super chunky, because as you speak into the microphone, if you're running up to that 0 dB mark, it's constantly adjusting the gain, and it is just a little bit behind. It's not the best way. It'll save you if you make a mistake, but I wouldn't lean on the safe mode. So I'll just leave that at that. Next, we have air mode. New with Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 4th Gen, they've revised the air mode. They split the two modes. Previously, you used to have a boost of the air frequencies and a little bit of analog distortion all baked into one. Now you have the option to just boost the upper air frequencies. Let's go ahead and click this on now. So when you click the air mode, you will notice that the microphone gets a little bit louder because you're boosting a good chunk of the upper frequencies. So as the volume comes up, it naturally sounds better. But also for a dark dynamic microphone like the Shure SM7B, boosting those upper air frequencies does make it sound more natural, less muddy, less muffled. It can sound really nice. Next, we can click the button again, and we get the orange air mode. The orange air mode keeps the same boost of the upper air frequencies, and now it adds what Focusrite calls drive. Drive is an emulated version of the old Focusrite preamps that people used to love. They used to crank the heck out of those preamps to make them distort a little bit because they love the way that this sounds. This was so popular, it sold a lot of consoles, so they put it back into a small audio interface like this, and a lot of people still love it for their recording. It's completely subjective. Some people love it, some people hate it. Try it out and see what you think on your recording. I'm going to turn this off now. Next, the Shure SM7B does come with an alternate windscreen. So let's give this a demo. I'm going to put this on now. So this is the larger alternate windscreen for the Shure SM7B. You can tell that it's a lot bigger than the previous windscreen that I had on. A lot of people prefer this smaller windscreen when they're in a video application because it looks better on camera. You can tell that this is blocking a larger part of the set, larger part of my face if it's in front of my face, so it looks not as good. But it is recommended if you're using this for voiceover application, or if you're getting a lot of pops in your recording, a lot of plosives when you make P or B sounds. If your microphone is right in front of your mouth and not off to the side like it is right now, then you will probably benefit from using the larger alternate windscreen. It's completely subjective. It's something that you want to test and try out for yourself. I'm going to leave it on for the rest of this video just because. The other question that we get all the time is, do you need a Cloudlifter with this setup? The previous generation of Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 gave you 56 dB of gain. The Shure SM7B, in my experience, requires somewhere between 60 and 64 dB of gain to get the best out of it. If you really want to peak between that -18 and -12 while speaking comfortably, I find I need about 62 dB of gain. The new Focusrite Scarlett 2i2 gives you 69 dB of gain. The new Scarlett 2i2 has more than enough gain for this. I hope this video has been helpful with answering all your questions about the Shure SM7B and the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2. If I missed any questions that you have, please leave a comment down in the comment section below. Again, if you are looking for pricing or specs, I have links down in the description below. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.